What is up, everybody? Dan the fireman, waiting for that guy to go. Anyways, we're gonna talk about how to survive a motorcycle accident. Don't know why I had an accident with that one. It's very important. This is a 3-part series, so you're gonna see part 1, part 2, part 3. Let's start with part 1. So here's what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up the setting. All right, we're gonna set up the setting. We're riding in the neighborhood right now. We get into a crash. All right, so let's say this car hit me, just like clipped my leg pretty hard. All right, so cool, we're riding off. Let's say this person is pulling off to the side with me. So let's go ahead and pull off over here. I got hit in the leg. I'm kind of hurting. I'm a little upset. Thankfully I'm still able to maneuver and move. Let's get into the shade a little bit. Oh, I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, I got hit, guys. Oh, it hurts really bad. Hurts really bad. So what did I just do? I got myself to safety. That is the first tip. Get yourself off the road. Okay, the road is extremely dangerous. You just got hit, right? You just got hit on the road. So get yourself to safety. It's very important to kind of go off the side, get on the shoulder. Since our little experiment here is in the neighborhood, so I pulled off into an area where there's no traffic really. I'm off to the side, and now I'm gonna go ahead and get off the bike. I'm off in the shade. Hopefully nobody gets upset with me here. And that's very important to do. As soon as you possibly can, grab your phone, grab something, maybe somebody saw it, and call 911. Okay, so here's the thing though. If you don't call 911 and you just say, hey, can somebody call 911? Every other person is gonna assume the other person is gonna call 911. So what you need to do is actually you need to call 911, or you need to point at a witness, say, hey, can you call 911? Please call 911 for me. And when you point somebody out, they'll actually do it, or just do it yourself, okay? The main thing is you need to get law enforcement there, and then you also need to get EMS, okay? You got hurt, you possibly don't know if they got hurt, and you don't even know sometimes if you got hurt or not. It kind of hits you a little bit later, the adrenaline, all the endorphins, the norepinephrine and all that stuff kind of kicks in, right? So it's really important to pay attention to that. So call 911 so you can get cops there to control traffic and to get the statements and do a written report, and get EMS there. Say that you're injured. You don't know, but just say that you're injured, get them there, and depending on your jurisdiction, at least where I've worked, is that if you don't want to get medical attention or you don't want to go to the hospital by ambulance, you can always sign a refusal form, but at least get checked out, all right? It's kidnapping if a firefighter grabs you and puts you in the ambulance, okay? There's a whole different spiel about that, and we'll talk about that maybe at another time, right? So while you're kind of just, moving around, let's say I'm going to sit down right here and be like, oh, my leg, because I got clipped in the left leg. Check yourself for injuries, okay? It's very important to check yourself for injuries. So if you have to, take your boot off, and then, maybe my ankle got crushed, so I'm gonna be over here. Oh, okay, I don't see anything. There's no actual trauma. Maybe it's starting to swell up. Who knows? Okay, so definitely check yourself for injuries. Lower extremity, which is from the waist down, so like the legs and the feet and the ankle. Those are the most common injuries that you could have after a motorcycle crash, not including, a traumatic brain injury. You smack your head pretty good, you could definitely have a traumatic brain injury. But I was able to stay on the bike, come through the neighborhood, stop here, but I got clipped in the leg, so I possibly have either a soft tissue or a bone issue, just a bunch of injuries, and I don't know yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sit down right here. One thing that's very important is remaining calm, okay? And I know it's gonna be pretty hard. You're gonna be in that fight or flight mode. And you have to remain calm, because if you don't remain calm, you're not going to think right, and you really need to be thinking right at this point. You're in an emergency situation, something just happened to you, there's a bunch of stuff coming at you. Do I call my insurance? I already called the cops. Okay, now what? Do I call my family? Is my wife going to get pissed off at me because I haven't called her first, or just stuff like that. So it's very important. And also don't make it worse by arguing. You don't go up to the person, like let's say they parked right there. They're this Ford right here. Hey, flower. And I just get up in their face and start arguing, like, you didn't see me, you hurt me, I'm hurt, There's no point. You can get a disorderly conduct or whatever it is in your area. The cops are not going to like it. It's not going to help your case at all. Just stay calm and really kind of worry about yourself at this point, okay? So let the cops and the insurance take care of all that, okay? Let the cops get their statement, get your statement. Let the insurance, you have your insurance. Let your insurance take care of it, okay? Whatever deal you have with them, liability, comprehensive collision, whatever kind of insurance policies you have, let the insurance deal with it, okay? Your goal right now is to remain calm, check your injuries, and go to the hospital if you have to, all right? So you guys notice why, like, I haven't left yet? Well, I'm trying to assist law enforcement. Law enforcement, they need a lot of information. Okay, they need a lot of information. So you're gonna pull out your wallet or whatever you have. So you're gonna get your ID. You're gonna get your insurance card. So I got my ID right here. Got my insurance card right there. Get them all the information, possibly title and register or just registration, so you can see that your bike's registered and everything. But answer their questions. Don't lie. Don't lie. Okay, that you do not want to lie to the cops. Do not lie and say, well, yeah, this person was going 80 miles an hour when in actuality they're going 20. Or don't say like just random crazy stuff. Don't say that. Just tell them exactly what happened. Don't admit fault or anything like that. Just tell them what happened. Like, hey, I got hit in the leg. I was turning right. The car hit me. We pulled into this area. We stopped, and I can't remember too much right now. I'll probably remember more later. Here's my contact information. Here's my phone number because you're gonna fill out a crash report and everything. So it's very important. Okay, and we're still trying to remain calm. Remain calm, guys. Remain calm. Do not leave the scene. Once again, I haven't left yet, right? The scene was over there. That's where we got hit, but I got into safety. And you can let the cop know. Be like, hey, I went into some spot where I felt safe, okay? I feel safe in this area, less traffic, not on the main road. Don't want to get hit, okay? But if you did get hit and the bike is damaged and everything, let's say I got hit and the bike is like in the road right there, but we're pretending it's over there, so it's in the road right there. I'm going to stand off on the shoulder, or I'm going to stand off on the sidewalk. I'm going to leave the bike there. I'll let the cops take care of it. I'm going to take pictures this whole time. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is that I'm going to be on scene, and I'm going to exchange my insurance information, contact information, possibly a phone number. That's pretty much all I'm going to do, is give them my insurance and phone number to the other driver, so I can, exchange things, so I can get theirs and they can get mine, let the insurance companies handle it. But I'm going to definitely take photographs. So I'm going to get my phone out, and my bike's in the middle of the road. Let's say it was in the middle of the road in that example. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to take pictures of the sign, okay? I'm going to take pictures of the car. I'm going to take pictures of my bike, if it's still in the middle of the road. Let's say it's not, and I pulled over, and I was like, I got damage to my leg, I got damage to the bike. Take a picture of the bikes. I'm going to start taking pictures of everything. That's the cool thing about digital nowadays. You can take so many pictures. Take video. I got video running. Definitely get all the surroundings of the street signs, of the impact zone, of the speed limit, of the curb, of the brakes, and as much information you possibly can get in picture format. It's very important. It's very, very important, and it helps out just in case there ever has to be like a litigation type thing. Once again, let your insurance handle it. If somebody saw what happened, let's say you're out riding with a bunch of friends, that's pretty easy. You can get some witnesses. If you're riding by yourself, possibly get some witnesses that might have seen the incident, but do not pressure them. Do not go up to them and be like, hey, I need you. You need to do... No. Give me your information. No, don't do that. Say, hey, would you be willing to maybe trade... can I have your phone number? You saw what happened. Can I write down what you saw or something? A possibility that my insurance company would call you, or if I ever go to court, would I be able to use you as a witness? Like, be very nice and thankful for that and appreciative if they actually say yes, because some people just don't want to do that. I mean, sometimes I'm maybe it's in the mood sometimes. I'd be like, I saw what happened. I'll give the cops a statement, but that's it. I'm done. I don't want to go to court in 3 months. I don't want to do this. I'll give a statement. So that's how some people are. So don't push and pressure somebody into doing something they don't want to, and you could probably, you can get a charge. You get harassment or disorderly conduct, if they don't like what you're doing. So really pay attention. Don't pressure them, but let them know, like, hey, you'd be helping out, you're going to be helping out the case. You'd be helping everything out. So maybe my insurance representative can call you and all those things. It's very important. This is something that you need to kind of think about when you go out for a ride. This could definitely help you out when you're riding or driving, right?
All right, a quick little editor's note. The main thing is wear gear at GAT. If you get hit in an accident, the best thing you could possibly do is have gear to prevent some of the things. Like, if you can't prevent everything, motorcycling is inherently dangerous. So for all my beginner riders, if you're out there looking for a bike right now, make sure you're looking for gear. And for those that have been riding for a while and you don't have full gear, get full gear. That will help you out in the long run. A lot of times insurance will cover some of that stuff in an accident. So double check your insurance policies and everything. Part 2 is going to talk a little bit more, after the accident, what to do after you've, gotten home and everything. Hopefully you're not in the hospital. Part 3 is going to expand even further on that. So make sure you guys pay attention to this stuff. This is very important. I really want you guys to be safe. And make sure you hit that. I'll let Daniel take over again.
Please, please, please click that like button, click that follow button, comment below if you've ever been in motorcycle accidents. Tell me. Let's do this. Let's work on this. And this is only part 1 of 3, guys. Part 1 of 3. So we got part 2, part 3 coming up pretty soon. All right? With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and hopefully you're never in this situation.